So, Jess, what is a reason that, or there's probably several reasons that a transplant could be called off?
Yeah, so there are a number of reasons. Majority of the time, the organs may have become unstable and now unviable. And we may know that before getting to the theatre or only when we're in the theatre and we may be looking at the organs ourselves. Unfortunately, there's only so much, tests and results that we can do to actually comprehend how good and usable these organs may be. So with that said, obviously we don't want to be taking out your organs or, the transplant recipient's organs and putting in ones that are subpar, essentially. So we want to be able to ensure that these are the best option. The other options would be, as some people may know, there are two different pathways for death now. So historically, it was just brain death testing that would declare death. And then now we have, in the new era, donation by circulatory death, which essentially means that that patient has been deemed futile and that there would be a non-survivable event once all of the lines and infusions and what have you are removed. So with that, to be able to progress to donation, the catch essentially is that they would have to pass in certain timeframes. Now, each organ has a certain limit, and if that organ oversees that limit of time, we wouldn't be able to procure the organs. And so that would mean that we weren't able to transplant them. So essentially, those would be the main reasons. There are a very small number of patients that do get called in as a backup, and that may be because we are intending to do a heart-lung transplant. And if that's the case, then we would ideally be using both organs on that one individual. However, if one organ wasn't looking as good as we'd hoped, and the other is, we may be able to do a separate lung or a separate heart transplant and go to the backups. But you'd be told when you're phoned that you are a backup, because we don't obviously want to get that person's hopes up to say that this is going to go ahead.